What's up guys, my name's Brandon and I've been using iOS 13.4 all week and I wanted to give you guys an update on how it's been running for me in terms of battery life, performance, and kind of just how the new features and bug fixes are working out for me on multiple devices. Now I also wanted to talk about why this update is a lot more important than I originally thought in terms of privacy and is yet just another reason you guys should update. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes, but first let's discuss some of the hot topics of this update in terms of how the new features are working and a great update on one of the most annoying bugs in iOS 13 that I've talked about a lot here on the channel. And by the way, if you guys want the wallpaper I'm using right here, I will have it linked in the description below. And if you want access to all wallpapers I've used in the past and all the wallpapers I'll use in the future in full quality, hit that join button down there next to the subscribe button to become a channel member. I'll be posting big wallpaper dumps monthly over there. So anyways, I've been using iOS 13.4 primarily on my iPhone 11 Pro Max here and my iPhone 8. I have also been using it on my iPhone 11 Pro here, but this is mainly just for my beta videos and stuff like that. The iPhone 11 Pro Max is my daily driver, so I will be showing you guys the battery stats and everything on this device, but I'm just going to use this for the video. But anyways, one of the first things I noticed after using this update is that I can now finally use Siri from my pocket, and it's actually a lot more useful than I originally thought. So as you guys know, in 13.4, if you go to your settings and go to accessibility and then go down to Siri, you have this new option here, which is always listen for you-know-who. And it says, listen for you-know-who when your iPhone is facing down or covered. So that means, when you have it face down, when you have it in your pocket, away from you, it will still work and you'll be able to hear the answer, which is nice. I didn't actually think this was going to be as useful, but I've used it like 3 times already so far. Now, iCloud folder sharing has also been working perfectly fine. I've literally been looking for bugs and I could not find any bugs with this. I've been using it a lot, sending invites to people, collaborating, putting things in there. The speeds are actually great. I found that, putting files in there from a different person, like somebody who has access to make changes and, people adding stuff into the folders, it actually gets in there very fast. It's just on par with Google Drive and Dropbox. I don't quite think it's a replacement for either one of those just because the sole purpose of Dropbox and Google Drive is for that. But we'll see. Hopefully some updates come to iCloud folder sharing to make it even better. Now, another thing that I forgot to mention in my iOS 13.4 video is for older devices. So I've been using my iPhone 8 here. And one of the nice new features is that when you pull up the control center, you can see we have the status bar up top now. So in iOS 13.3.1, you did not have the status bar when you pulled up the control center for some reason. And I just think it's pretty nice to be able to see your battery percentage, your connection right here, your Wi-Fi, all that stuff straight from the control center. So some people thought this was a bug at first, but it's not. It's a feature, and I think it's actually pretty great for you notchless iPhone users. Now, as for CarPlay, if you guys have CarPlay, you probably were excited to see the biggest new feature with CarPlay in 13.4 was for third-party navigation applications to be able to be on the main page right here. But I quickly found out that this does not work yet because Waze, which is what I use for my navigation, has not updated their application for 13.4 yet. So once they update it, we will be able to see Waze and other third-party navigation apps right here on the dashboard where you see your music and your favorite places up there and things like that. So if you have CarPlay and you were wondering why it doesn't work, it's because the applications have not been updated yet. But CarPlay in general on 13.4 has been excellent. Not a single bug, not a single disconnect, nothing is wrong at all on CarPlay for me. Also, some people had issues in CarPlay where they would have like old text messages that wouldn't get deleted when they deleted them from their phone. That appears to be fixed in 13.4 as well. Now, I also noticed that iOS 13.4 seems to improve the effectiveness of handoff. So I like to copy and paste text and links and things like that from my iPhone to my iPad and my iMac and vice versa. I like being able to do that throughout these devices. And in the past, like 13.3.1 and previous versions, it wasn't effective. It was effective probably 90% of the time. So it wasn't perfect, but now it seems to be perfect. I've not had one instance where it did not work. So that seems to be improved. So if you do use handoff, definitely a nice improvement there in 13.4. Now, in the intro, I talked about some great news for one of the big bugs in iOS 13, and that bug is the Instagram audio bug. So I told you guys, I've been talking about this for a while now. The Instagram audio bug is basically where you would go into Instagram, play a video, and when you go out of Instagram, the audio would continue playing from that video when you go to the home screen, when you lock the phone, when you go into another application. It would kind of vary depending on what you did, but you would continue hearing the audio from that video. Even if you muted the video in Instagram, it would still play. So I've not had that one time since being on iOS 13.4, and I've used Instagram numerous times, pretty much all throughout the day, every single day. So it appears to finally be fixed. Thank God. Now, the only other bug that we need fixed is the text message bug. So for some reason, this is still not fixed in 13.4. I still don't get notifications when I get a text message. If I'm on my lock screen, I won't even get my screen lighting up showing me I got a message. I won't get any kind of sound, no vibration, anything. And actually today I had an idea because it worked on my iPad. My iPad's hooked up to my phone number as well, so I get the same text messages. So I was like, I got the notification on that device, but not on my main device, which is my iPhone 11 Pro Max. So I had the idea that I would just turn that device off and see if it's because I was getting notifications on another device, but that was not the case. When I turned the iPad off and I got another text message, again, I didn't even get the notification on my iPhone 11 Pro Max. So not sure what the issue is, but Apple needs to sort it out. Now, before we talk about the bugs, the performance, and the battery life, let's talk about an important fix that came with the iPhone, iPad, and Mac with iOS 13.4, and that is a big update to intelligent tracking prevention for Safari. And this is absolutely huge for online privacy when it comes to tracking your data and things like that. So with this update, Apple now fully blocks all third-party cookies by default, which includes a block to login fingerprinting, which, as you guys may know, is used to track which websites you're logged into or logged out of. This update also solves cross-site request forgeries and makes it so that all script writable storage now expires after 7 days. And if you didn't understand any of that, basically this means that your data, like websites you visit, sites you're logged into, and things like that, will not be visible to advertisers or trackers anymore. And like I said, this is big for those who care about their online privacy and don't like their behavior online to be tracked. I always see people complain about this, especially with like Facebook ads and Instagram ads and things like that. So this is a very nice step forward for Apple. And Safari is the first major web browser to adopt this new policy, but Google has already said that Google Chrome will also be blocking third-party cookies by 2022. So it's going to take them a lot longer to catch up to Apple and Safari. So yeah, that's just another reason to update to the latest versions of iOS, iPadOS, and macOS. And this was like a feature that not a lot of people talked about or really knew about. So that's why I think that this update is a lot more important than people realize. Now, as far as bugs go, iOS 13.4 has actually been really good in terms of squashing a lot of the bugs I had in the past, especially with the Mail application and just random crashes and freezes. I've not really had anything major, but one of the big ones that a lot of people pointed out to me on social media was with the settings. And when you go ahead and 3D press right here and then go to Bluetooth, you can see there it crashes settings. So not sure what that's about. So if you use the 3D touch menu to get to Bluetooth quickly, you'll see that it just crashes the settings application for some reason. Not too sure why, but Apple, I'm sure, will fix that in the next update. Now, another bug in iOS 13.4 that I have not experienced myself, but I've seen people talk about on social media and in my comments is with FaceTime. So people are saying that FaceTime takes longer to connect now and sometimes won't even connect, even though the other person has a stable connection, they have a stable connection. It just takes a while to connect. And also it looks like iOS 13.4 dropped support for FaceTiming users on iOS 9. So some people have like grandparents or family members with really old phones and they would FaceTime them. Apparently you cannot FaceTime from iOS 13.4 back to iOS 9 now. So pretty interesting there. I also saw a couple people complaining that the FaceTime camera does not use the ultra wide lens, which I think that it should. I think that the FaceTime camera should use the ultra wide lens, but it doesn't in 13.4. So maybe we'll see a fix for that or an option to change the lens in 13.4.1. Now, another bug that was introduced in iOS 13.3.1 for me is a delay when taking Deep Fusion photos and trying to edit them right away. Now, this does not happen every time, which is why I think it's a bug still here in 13.4. But basically when I go to take a photo and I go ahead to edit it, or I go to the photo, you can see the edit button there is grayed out. So it didn't gray out for very long there, but sometimes it'll be like a 10-second delay, like at least a 10-second delay. So if I go to it, yeah, so it didn't do it that time, but it does it sometimes where it will be delayed. You guys should try it out and let me know if you're having that issue as well here on 13.4. Now, I also like looking through my comments and, picking out some bugs that maybe you guys have as well, because of course I'm not going to notice every single bug, but you can see here, Niall said this. He said, I've updated my 6S and now I have a bug where from time to time, the assistive touch disappears for a moment, then comes back as if it was refreshing. So If you guys have a 6S or maybe an older phone and you use assistive touch, let me know if you're facing this bug. I don't personally use assistive touch at all, and I also don't use my 6S on these latest updates. But if you guys are having that, let me know in a comment below. Now, as far as battery life goes, battery life has been excellent for me, and I think it's the best yet on iOS 13. So I think iOS 13.4 has the best battery life of any version of iOS 13. So let me go ahead and show you guys the battery life that I'm getting on my iPhone 11 Pro Max here, which of course is my daily driver. It's gonna be kind of hard to tell, but you can see right here, I'm not charging it very much, and I'm still getting great battery life. You can see how long it's lasting right there. I actually didn't even charge my phone overnight. So you can see here from 7 to 8 p.m. all the way until, what is that? So 7 to 8 a.m. So a full 12 hours there, and I didn't lose very much battery at all. So I've just been impressed overall with the battery performance on iOS 13.4. I do notice a difference from 13.3.1. It's probably like 20 to 30 minutes more of screen on time. So it's not a huge difference, but I mean, hey, with a 0.4 update, I will gladly take that improvement to the battery life. And it seems that everybody else is also having a good experience when it comes to the battery life as well. The only people I really saw that had issues were on the iPhone 7. Some people on the iPhone 8 as well, but my iPhone 8 has been great for battery life. I mean, I don't think it's an improvement over 13.3.1 on the iPhone 8. It feels the same to me, but it has not decreased. I have not had any battery drain or anything like that. It also seems that battery life on the iPhone XS is great as well. So you can see here, Curtis said this: battery life performance is definitely the best I had on my iPhone XS. It's so smooth, snappy, and I've been trying to kill my battery, and phone is holding strong cellular service, saw a big boost. So he basically said a lot more than battery life, but overall, you can see he's having a great experience with this new update on the iPhone XS. Now moving on to the performance. Performance feels great. It feels about the same to me as iOS 13.3.1. If anything, it is a little bit smoother though, just because of the bug fixes, especially in the Mail application. Mail feels so much better on iOS 13.4, especially with that new toolbar down at the bottom when you go in right here. Looks a lot better, and not any bugs. I've not had a single bug so far in the Mail application on 13.4, so definitely no complaints there. And as for iPadOS 13.4, everything is running perfectly fine over there as well. The trackpad and mouse support is amazing, works great. I've not had a single issue. The first day I downloaded it, it seemed like the dock had some issues coming up, but I've not had that since day one of installing 13.4, so really no complaints at all on iPadOS 13.4. And as for your guys' opinion on iOS 13.4, I did run a quick community poll here, and you see it got over 3,000 votes. I posted this at like 2 a.m., so really strange timing, but you can see here a lot of people, 63% of people are saying that iOS 13.4 is running great with no bugs. So that is really nice to see. That's, I think, one of the highest percentages I've ever had for great no bugs on any iOS release, iOS 13 release that is. And you can see 21% of people said good, but some minor bugs. 10% said decent, some annoying bugs / battery life issues. And then only 6% of 3,000 people said that it's bad or they hate it. So I'm assuming some of those people also are not even updated to 13.4. So pretty interesting results there. Kind of just coincides with everything I've been saying in this video. It's running perfectly fine for the majority of people. So for those of you waiting on my follow-up review before updating, here it is. You should definitely go ahead and update. Great performance, great battery life, great features, great bug fixes, and also great security enhancements as well with Safari, like I talked about earlier. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, I would appreciate if you gave this video a thumbs up. Of course, also leave a comment down below with your experience on iOS 13.4. Is it running fine for you? Are you having any bugs now? What device are you on? Things like that, let me know down in the comments below. And of course, I will maybe mention those in my iOS 13.4.1 video when that comes out. I also encourage you guys to subscribe if you've not done so already, so you can be updated on all the iOS updates and new Apple products and all that good stuff. Subscribe button is right down there below the like button. But anyways, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.